We've just gotten ourselves the news. The first overall pick has signed his extension. He is staying with his team, and his name is Alexis Lafreniere. 2-year extension with the Rangers, $2.325 million a year for a total contract that is under $5 million. This is, the lowest first overall extension deal we've seen in 20 years? Something like that. I don't know what the number is, but Alexis Lafreniere is staying with the Rangers, and that's not the first overall pick you were talking about? Okay, let's scroll up here a little bit, because Auston Matthews has signed a 4-year extension. Hit him with the 4 like Auston Matthews, and the AAV is $13.25 million a year. $53 million contract. Auston Matthews is now the most expensive AAV player in the National Hockey League. And this contract is only 4 years long. This isn't an 8-year max term extension, dude. Take a look at the AAVs here in the NHL. Nathan MacKinnon. Oh, you can't see it. It's not on the screen. It doesn't fit. Let's see. If I zoom out, how does that look? And we move this off to the side. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Nathan MacKinnon's making $12.6 million a year. Connor McDavid's $12.5. Artemi Panarin $11.6. And Auston Matthews now trumps them all at $13.25. He has overtaken 3 guys, and he set the bar here. He's raising the AAV limit for all NHL players, not by 100K like MacKinnon did, going from 12.5 to 12.6, but by 625K. Man, this is a big deal. Auston Matthews now puts to rest all of the conversations that we were having as to whether or not he's going to go to San Jose or Vegas or whatever, Arizona, at least for the foreseeable future, right? 4 years is a pretty decent amount of time, but at the same time, it's not too short, right? Matthews' career earnings will be $114 million before his 31st birthday. His camp was not willing to go beyond 4 years, even though the Leafs pushed for longer. Auston Matthews, how old is he right now? Let's go over to the cap-friendly page. 25 years old. Okay, so the new contract, starts out 24-25, goes on till 27-28. This will be, how old is he going to be? Is that what the tweet said? Yeah, 31 years old. So Auston Matthews, by the time he hits 32, he will be a UFA again, and hopefully the Toronto Maple Leafs, or do I want to say hopefully? Hopefully is a good word. Yeah, let's say hopefully. Hopefully the Toronto Maple Leafs actually win their Stanley Cup in this time frame. So Auston Matthews, whilst on this deal, is actually able to accomplish something with this team. Of course, it's tough to really build out a roster when one player is making $13.25 million a year on your salary cap, and the fact that this isn't even for 8 years, but it's only for 4, means that in 2028, you have this entire song and dance all over again. Who is even on the Maple Leafs signed until 2027, 2028? I mean, I don't know. It's Morgan Rielly. That's it. Morgan Rielly is signed till however long he is signed for, 29-30. So by the time Morgan Rielly expires at $7.5 million a season, Auston Matthews would have had a second extension given out to him, assuming they actually do another extension in 27-28. Who knows by how much Auston Matthews is going to be making at that time? Who knows how much the cap is going to have risen if Auston Matthews continues potting 60-goal season, 60 goals, 60 goals, 60 goals. By 27-28, if he gets 14 mil, 14.5, it's not too unrealistic considering the state of the NHL, how frequently the salary cap is jumping up ever since the pandemic ended, and just how much money these players are getting. If 27-28 comes and Matthews signs an extension, by 28-29, Matthews could legitimately be making twice the amount of Morgan freaking Rielly for 2 years. It's nuts. 4 years long. It's a bridge deal. Expensive bridge deal. Most expensive contract in the NHL. $13.25 million a year. There isn't another Leaf that is signed on for that amount of time. But of course, we already talked earlier today about William Nylander and how his entire situation might be influenced by this. You all of a sudden have, $1.6 million less to negotiate with in terms of building the rest of your roster after this Matthews extension was handed out. I'm not going to dunk on the extension. We know Matthews had the potential to get the highest AAV out of every NHL player combined, or not combined, excuse me, but in the league. And that's the case here. It's mind-boggling to me how they got it done on a short-term bridge deal. Man, Brad Sherloving really doesn't want that Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Gaudreau thing to happen again. And for William Nylander, as we had talked about earlier today, how we might have some bad updates regarding the status of that contract, it's looking more and more like that guy might be on the move, because if the Maple Leafs cannot get this done before the season starts, they cannot go into the year having Nylander holding out. They held out on him before. This happened last time. But next season, there's going to be some change, because if Nylander does not get that pen to the dotted line, you have no choice but to trade him. For Austin Matthews, there was already speculation saying that this was going to happen. We knew that he was going to re-sign. There was no doubt in anybody's mind Austin Matthews was going to be a Leaf. Now, our attention shifts over to Willie. And it shifts over to Johnny T and Mitch Marner for next year, because this entire song and dance is going to repeat itself all over again. But who knows how exactly this Matthews thing influences the Tavares and Marner thing. Do you get yourselves a $12 million AAV contract extension for Marner? We know he's probably not going to make the same amount of money as Matthews, maybe not even a mil or something in the same range. I mean, last time, Matthews was making 11.6, Marner was making 10.9. Actually, no, I take that back. They were only separated by $700K. But is that still the same difference here? If you keep Matthews at 13.2 and you say, okay, $700K less, we'll give that to Marner, Marner would be making more money than all these other guys that we had been seeing. Okay, where's the page? Let's go back to the page here, active players, and then we'll go to cap hit. Does Marner get more than McKinnon and McDavid too? Matthews already did. Does Marner reach that territory as well if you keep the same difference in AAV from last contract to this next contract? That's a really interesting thought experiment to be had. For John Tavares, we already knew that he had the chance to get $13-something million when he had signed with the Maple Leafs initially, but he turned that down with San Jose to come to Toronto at only 11. So there's really a good amount of flexibility here. Also for Tavares, I mean, the guy's 32 years old. He's probably not going to get that huge number one AAV deal anymore. But Austin Matthews, hey, he's the guy that gets it. So $13.25 million a year. It is now the most expensive contract in the NHL. And yeah, for William Nylander, who knows how that affects him. For Mitch Marner, maybe he's in the same boat. Maybe he overtakes Connor McDavid next year. Maybe he overtakes McKinnon. Who really knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Toronto Maple Leafs re-signing Austin Matthews. Here you go. Let's read the JFresh tweet here. Signed to a 4 by $13.3 million extension by Toronto as an elite scoring center who creates chances and goals at an unparalleled level at 5v5 while being effective in other areas of the game. His strength and smarts in puck battles give him defensive upside too. Nice. What are your thoughts about this entire extension? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.